and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of Arlington High School's class of 2016. Please rise for the presenting of the colors by the Arlington Police Department Honor Guard. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Please be seated. Thank you to our bagpiper, Mr. Rob Egan. The honor guard in our wonderful band, conducted by Mr. Tino D'Agostino. Our senior band members who played for their classmates will now proceed to their seats. They are Peter Arlington, William Davey, Aaron Davies, Katia Donovan, Lucas Giannacostas, J.J. Hassler, Nicholas Kaminsky, Risa Komatsu, Al Kuleli, Kevin LaFleur, Michael Morissette, Andrew Peterson, Aaron Sebring, Caleb Snyder DeCesare, Trevor Stinson, Alice Tracey, Victoria Say, Connor Wells, and Tomomi Yoshida. I present to you our principal, Dr. Matthew Janger.
We're here. Welcome Arlington High School class of 2016. Welcome Arlington High School faculty. Welcome parents and community members. This is Theater in the Round. Thank you Superintendent Bodie and School Committee Chair Jennifer Susse. And before we begin the ceremony, I want to extend special thanks publicly to Ms. Began, Mrs. Simmons, and Ms. Reed, all of whom have done an enormous amount to make the logistics of today come through. I'd also like to thank, big round of applause. I'd also like to point out how fabulous everyone looks in the new tradition of the maroon and gray with the gray stole. It's a beautiful look. Special thanks as well to Mr. McCarthy, with whom many, many, many things would not happen. To Mr. DiLoreto and Ms. Tibden, our deans. Mr. DiLoreto will be our MC today, and many of you would not be here today if it were not for the help of those two deans, so thanks as well. So today you're completing the first major stage of your education, Congratulations. After roughly 13 years of formal schooling, you're ready to move on. In case you were wondering, you have received an excellent education. AHS is ranked 9th among comprehensive public high schools in Massachusetts. We're U.S. News National Gold Medal School. We're among the Washington Post's most challenging schools. My favorite, if Massachusetts were a country, our schools would be ranked among the top countries, Singapore, Finland, and Norway, depending on which international comparison you were looking at. Having gone through 4 years here, you can think about what an interesting point that is. In spite of the broken down building, the crumbling stairways, and questionable bathrooms, you have all gotten a fabulous education. Education is clearly a messy process. This is because education is not a product. It's not something that you get individually. It's not even something you do individually. It's something we all do together. As you leave today, the value of your education will be what you choose to take away. It really doesn't matter whether you found school easy or hard, what college or job you're going to, whether you received awards or detentions. You're here. Researchers on happiness find that if one compares people who lose a limb with people who win the lottery, a year or two later, you can't distinguish or predict which will be happier. On average, it's because happiness comes from inside. What matters is not what you get, but what you make of your experiences. Take the time to think about what a good life is for you, what it means to be a good person, and how you need to grow to be able to be happy. You have a strong base. We're here for you. We're not going anywhere. The community is behind me and behind you. Congratulations. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to present Anto Kechejian, Secretary of the Class of 2016. Anto will announce the Elementary School Faculty Awards of Appreciation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a minute to acknowledge the recipients of the Teacher Appreciation Award. Teachers are the foundation of this community, and it's important that we recognize their hard work, dedication, and love of teaching. This year, from both elementary schools and from Audison, Jean Wall, Jill Connor, Christina Perkowski, Lauren McGowan, Nicole Ferraletto, Laura Morello, Janelle Carbone, and Brandon Beige were recognized for their outstanding work that left a lasting impression on the class of 2016. So let's give a round of applause for these teachers and for all the teachers that we're honored to have here in Arlington. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Jennifer Susse, Chair of the Arlington School Committee.
This is exciting for me. In only 3 short years, I will be out there among you guys, the parents, watching my eldest graduate Arlington High. And I will be just as happy, excited, proud, and perhaps a little nervous as you are today. For the graduating seniors, and for many, many parents, this is the end of your tenure with the Arlington Public Schools. Whether you started as a 3-year-old in our preschool program, or just joined us this past year, I hope you look back on your time with us with fond memories. Likely, there were challenges along the way as well. You've been helped to meet those challenges by many, many people. By the teacher or coach who pushed you to achieve something that you didn't know you were capable of. By the principal and administrator who worked hard to make sure that the school ran seamlessly. By the neighbor who picked you up from school and ferried you to activities. And by the amazing strength of your parents, grandparents, and other caregivers. They are the ones who sat with you at the kitchen table and helped as you struggled with the math assignment, who served as room parents, helped out at the book fair, donated to the PTO, and brought flowers for Teacher Appreciation Day. The people who are special in your life did all of this because they love you and want you to succeed. But in doing so, they also helped other students because they made the Arlington school community stronger, more vibrant, and more nurturing than it would otherwise have been. Today, we celebrate our graduating seniors, but we also offer thanks to the community that has supported these students along the way. I especially want to offer the appreciation of the Arlington School Committee for your continual financial support of one of the most important communal responsibilities that we have, educating our children. As enrollment continues to grow, and as we go through the high school building process, we will need to go to the community more than once for additional financial support. In fact, this June 14th is one such time. It is true that education is expensive, but the graduates standing here today offer proof that it is worth the price. Thank you again for everything you've done to support, enhance, and strengthen education in Arlington.
Thank you, Ms. Susse. It is my pleasure to introduce Arlington's Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kathleen Bodie.
Thank you. Hello, graduates. On behalf of your teachers, school administrators, and all members of the Arlington Public School community, I want to congratulate each one of you on your graduation today. This is a special day for you, but it is also a special day for the community of people who have supported you, the people who taught you, guided you, and the people who cheered you on over these past few years, and the years that preceded high school. It's a particularly special day for your parents who are proudly looking on, and I suppose wondering where the years went. You have chosen teachers from each school for a special thank you, some of whom are here today to cheer you on once again. They have been special people in your lives, and I also want to acknowledge and thank these teachers for their dedication to your well-being and education. I suspect you have chosen them to be recognized because of how they made you feel, respected, challenged, and appreciated. Many other teachers, many who are sitting here this afternoon, administrators and staff share responsibility for your graduation today and for this ceremony. Special thanks to them as well. As a class, you have shined for many years. You have formed deep friendships and are a very cohesive class. You enjoy being together, which makes today even more poignant. You have distinguished yourselves in many ways. Among you are National Merit awardees, Gold and Silver Key winners in art, advanced placement scholars, accomplished athletes who with teammates qualified many times for postseason competition, as well as the state recognition for individual performances. You were recognized by the MIAA with the District D Sportsmanship Award, which speaks to your character, and the Educational Athletics Award for Community Service and Leadership. Among you are much admired musicians, students who've taken college-level courses at the high school, participated in the internship program working outside the school in areas of interest. You've been successful mock trial advocates, model UN delegates, high-achieving mathematicians, budding scientists and computer scientists, applauded actresses and actors, and community service activists. Your contributions to school and community are many. You have built gardens, robots, been a best buddy, participated in the Relay for Life and town cleanups, tutored other students, worked in food kitchens, collected old shoes to be refurbished in Africa, and gathered empty bottles around the school for recycling. And these are just a few of your activities. You have been true to your friendships of classmates Catherine and Jeremy, by raising monies for scholarships in their names, and keeping Catherine's memory alive with the poignant remembrance of the traveling prom dress. As educators, we talk about enduring understandings. One of the important understandings we hope will endure from your years in the Arlington Public Schools is this: giving of yourselves in service to others not only enriches your life, but the lives of everyone around you. We hope that you will continue to give yourself in service to others in many small and large ways. And you do not need to look very far to see the many positive role models in your life who emulate this quality. Your parents, teachers, coaches, advisors, friends. It's now time for you to accept even more responsibility and to live your lives in a way that inspires others. Know as you're leaving us, we are proud of your many accomplishments in service. Most of all, we are proud of the young adults you have become. In closing, I ask you to remember that success in life is measured not only by your accomplishments, which we know will be many, but by the quality of your heart and service to others. Best wishes to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Bodie. I am excited to present Alexander Franzosa, Vice President of the Class of 2016.
Well, well, well. It's time to introduce our keynote speaker. This man, described as a mentor, a teacher, and most importantly, a friend. He is one of the most incredibly dedicated men I have ever met. His dedication lies not only in his job as a teacher, but in his numerous activities, including dealing with the cross-country team, student government, and me. Countless sleepless nights have been the pillars of his triumph in somehow managing every aspect of his life with skill and tact. Not to mention that this is the only man I've ever met who's funny enough to make even a dog laugh. And let me say that there's nothing ironic about the amount of hype this man deserves. Without further ado, welcome Mr. Bourassa.
All right. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you to all of you for, I suppose, voting for me. So thank you. But also thank you to our just so incredibly dedicated administration and my colleagues, without whom we would not have been able to get through any year, but particularly this year. So thank you very much to my colleagues and administrators for all of the support. Yeah, clap it up. All right. The last time I heard someone say good job was just Thursday night in Yume Okatade, that ramen shop in Porter Square. The owner, Nishioka-san, had just congratulated a customer who had eaten all of their noodles but hadn't been able to handle their soup, vegetables, or pork. You know, most of the meal. He screamed out, "Good job!" And the person sat there, tongue scalded, pride wounded, blushing, having received the false good job praise. If you haven't been, he does that for every single bowl of ramen he serves. Good job, or perfect, or next time. Now, if we disregard the fact that I'm a card-carrying member of the Clean Bowl Club with a perfect 9-for-9 record at Yume Okatade, the thing that really sits with me, perhaps better than any bowl of ramen sits with my stomach, is this idea that Nishioka-san is so positive. Yume Okatade means talk about your dreams. He runs a soup store that literally wants you to share your dreams with everyone. The other thing that sits with me, though, having been traded to Japan for a teacher to be named later, is that I know that in Japanese, there is no direct translation for good job. The joke was on Arlington, by the way, because the teacher they got in return for me was me 2 years later. So there's no good job in Japanese. I learned this the hard way. Every day, leaving Nago Kakyo City office, my fellow part-time co-workers would bow and recite some sort of majestic farewell to their superiors and their supervisors. And the superiors and supervisors would in turn shout something else right back. And what I imagined was some sort of honorable ritual hearkening back to the days when samurai and shoguns ruled the feudal lands. Until tomorrow, honorable leaders, farewell, good job today, or something like that. I asked what my coworkers were saying, and my handler, Saito-san, simply told me how to pronounce the phrase, Osaki ni shitsureishimasu. So I started saying it every day. This tickled my supervisors, some of whom spoke English, most of whom did not. Every day I'd leave and call out, Osaki ni shitsureishimasu, and every day they'd bow and send me off the same way that they did to all of the Japanese part-timers, by bowing and shouting something else in turn. Eventually I found out that Osaki ni shitsureishimasu was not inappropriate, but did effectively translate to, sorry I'm leaving before you. And there was an implied salary chumps at the end of it. Now in Japan, if you're a salaried worker, you stay at work every day until your boss tells you you can go home, which means that even if you finished all of your work, if he's being really stubborn and refuses to just deal a new hand of solitaire, even though you all know there's literally nothing in the world he can do to win this one, you just gotta ride the storm out and hope that he either decides to quit or wins before the last train takes you home. I was effectively yelling, later fools, to my bosses every day, who were not graciously beaming with pride about how I did a good job. They were saying, "Otsukaresama deshita," which loosely means, leaving already, huh? You must be tired from all your hard work today, wow. Who was the fool now? I kept saying it though because everyone else was doing it. Back in the States, I'm sure I probably say it as often as the next person, but the very idea of telling someone good job is sort of silly. It's an expression like, you win some, you lose some. This statement, of course, is true. You do win some, and you do lose some. But when was the last time someone won and said, hey, you win some, you lose some? So often we say good job, and so often we crave hearing it. We seek it out, even though we know that good job doesn't mean that much anymore. It's like Inigo Montoya says, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. I guess this is what I'm getting at today. I'm not going to stand here in front of you and tell you good job because, well, you haven't done a good job yet. But more importantly, you should never let yourself be defined by simply doing a good job. Good job is something you write on peer revision when you're bad at peer revision. Good job. Nice margins. It's like calling out common nouns. Pancakes. Concrete. Tricolor quinoa. At least help me make a shopping list if you're not going to give me constructive feedback. Don't worry about the concrete. My point is, don't settle for doing a good job, and don't let doing a good job define you. Now, don't get me wrong. It's great to have a good job. I love my good job. Look at me, I get to work on a Saturday. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm having fun. Having a good job rules. I have a salary. The whole Japan thing's coming full circle on me now. Talking about jobs, of course, whatever your job is, you should still try. Try. Just try at your job. I'm not saying don't do your job well. I'm challenging every one of you instead, not to settle for a good job, but to find a career, or better yet, a vocation, a calling. Answer that call, whatever it may be. Whether it's the military, or the workforce, or college, or being a celebrity on Tumblr, or teaching, be bigger and better than just someone who just does a good job. Be passionate, be kind, be warm, be loving, be selfless, make things, make memories, make mistakes, apologize and mean it, forgive people, be an effective communicator, talk to people, listen to people, make people laugh. I've never heard someone say good job at any of those things. Hey, good job being in love. Good job being a U.S. Marine. Good job making that dog laugh. I didn't even plan that. The world has enough people judging you and trying to bring you down already. Don't settle for being defined by good job, especially for those things that really matter. Don't confuse doing a good job at living with being well lived. And just like you should never confuse good job with well lived, you should never confuse value with worth. Regardless of whatever your bank statement may say, regardless of what your future employer may value your job at dollars-wise, every single one of you sitting here before me right now is worth so much more than any good job pays. You are invaluable. I've told you this before. You're all invaluable. You're so worth it. And if you doubt it, take a look behind me. All these people are here because they love you. We love you because you're worth it. So now go share it. Share that worth with others. I recognize now, years after being traded to Japan for myself, I didn't just do a good job there, but what I did was totally worth it, making friends and studying languages and cultures and making and capturing unique memories that I will hold on to forever. But in both teaching English as a second and sometimes first language, and in the grand scheme of my life, I haven't done a good job yet. I'm just getting started. At least I hope I'm just getting started. Miss Began told me I had 5 minutes, or I was dead. So if we're being honest, I'm not actually doing a good job. I'm actually doing a very bad job. But it's so worth it, like you guys. In any event, just as I am getting started, on this commencement day, you too are just getting started. So start. Get out there. Live. Love. Give every bit of yourself to everything you do, and every one of the people you meet, the ones you love, the ones you like, the ones you pretend to like, the ones you have to invite to your wedding for some reason, the ones you stalk on Insta, even the ones who drive you crazy, Paul Stokes and Griffin LaSalle, and even, and especially, the ones who hurt you. Especially the ones who hurt you. Because even though there's no final exam in life, everything counts, and there is no extra credit. So while you head your separate ways, smirking your part-time employee, sorry I'm leaving before you, bruh, smirks as you slink away this afternoon, know that I'll tag you right back and mean it when I say, you must be so tired from all the hard work you did. Wow. You have worked hard. Kind of. Some of you this week. But you're nowhere near done. Now, this class knows too well that life is not fair. This class knows what loss means. But just like you shouldn't let good job or anyone else define you, please do not ever let your loss define you. Never let your identity be defined by what you don't have. Instead, continue celebrating those memories of those bright and shining moments and people in your lives. Whether you're thinking about Catherine in particular or not, never let yourself be defined by what you don't have or don't have anymore. Celebrate what, and especially who, you do. And in celebrating, get out there and do more than whatever it takes to hear good job. Live well, so that whenever your time comes, each of you can look back on a life well lived, not just here at Arlington High School, but over the course of your entire life, knowing that the bowl of ramen that is your legacy will be called out by Nishioka-san for what it really was, not with a half-consumed, half-wasted, palliative, good job, but with the only words he's ever called out to me, perfect. Thank you. I'll miss all of you. If it's all right with Dr. Bodie and Dr. Janger, I'm going to find somewhere to take a nap. Congratulations, everyone. You've done yourselves very proud. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Bourassa. It is my pleasure to introduce Vignesh Chockalingam, President of the Student Council.
I was going to shake his hand, but I guess that didn't happen. Sorry, I have my second page first. Good afternoon to the class of 2016 and everyone else who is here for support. Before I begin, I would like to thank the people that have supported me throughout my life, my parents. I am who I am, and I am where I am because of you. So thank you. I also want to recognize that among all of the caps that will fly in the air today, one will be missing. But she will remain in our hearts forever. And finally, I want to congratulate the class of 2016 on making it to this day. Much love and much pride go out to all of you. Yes, clap. I thought long and hard about what I want to say to all of you today. I really did. I wanted to find the perfect blend of reflection and humor, philosophy and reality. But then I realized that I'm not Steve Jobs. So today I'll just tell you a story. Keep it simple. And I'm not sure if it's a good story, but I guess we'll find out. A few weeks ago, on a regular Wednesday morning, I discovered that my bike was missing. And I'm sure some of you know a lot about this, and most of you know nothing. So get ready for the ride of your life. So after discovering that my bike was gone, I was in misery because it mattered a lot to me. But 3 days later, I got a call from my mom, and she tells me, well, at first when she calls me and she asks me, oh, Vignesh, where's your bike? I'm scared so much because I think they realize it's gone. But instead she says that my brother saw it on Mass Ave. So at that time I'm at Scoop Mania and I'm like helping set up, and I just, without saying anything, I just drop a couple of scoops of ice cream and run down Mass Ave. And if you saw me, it would have been funny, but maybe now it isn't that funny. So my bike, it's bright green, it's pretty hard to miss. And I see it on Mass Ave, same dents, same modifications, sitting right where she said it was. And I'm absolutely jubilated. But then I see that it's locked up. And it's ironic because this lock is so much nicer than the one I would use, which I guess is fitting. So after getting some advice from a stranger who just got oddly invested in what I was doing, I called the police, and 2 policemen arrived within a few minutes. And they say they believe me because I'm a pretty nice-looking kid. And they say that's true, but they still need some proof that it is mine because they can't just hand a kid a bike. So to the rescue comes Mark Chockalingam. Many of you know him. He's my father. And he's the man with the proof of purchase. Thank God for him. One of the policemen then calls the fire department, and tumbling down Mass Ave, sirens blazing, comes a fire truck, and out jump 6 men, and it's quite a spectacle. So they walk over, one by one, line up, and each proceeds to feel the bike lock, as if it's some sort of sacred talisman. I'm laughing, even though I shouldn't be. And then they pull out this beast of a machine. They tell me it's a hydraulic bolt cutter. And one of the policemen tells me the guys over at the fire department have been waiting months to try this out. So they're almost thanking me for giving them this gift. And a crowd builds up because people just are fascinated by this sight. It's not something you see often. And they want to witness these firemen, their heroism. So eventually, in a burst of sparks and cheers, the lock breaks and my bike is free. In a world that at times appears selfish and apathetic, I was reminded on this Saturday morning that there are people out there who will help a stranger like me. While someone out there stole my bike, and I'm not sure who it is, well, if I did, this wouldn't have been a problem. There were many others ready to right that wrong. One random guy on the street, 2 policemen, and 6 firemen. If the math skills Mr. Worst gave me are still there, that means 9 people took it upon themselves to reunite a random kid with his bike. And I can understand at this point if you're confused. All of this talk of a bike might seem trivial, and it is. But what I think I'm talking about is empathy. We all come from different pasts and inhabit vastly different presents. But some one-of-a-kind ability within the human mind made a stranger ask me if I was doing okay. Made a stranger ask me if I needed help. Something made a policeman believe a kid standing on the side of a street with a story, and just a story. We live in a country and world where everyone is different. That's a good thing. But it's also so difficult to be an always kind, always empathetic individual. Our biology, psychology, and culture don't help. And I won't try to tell you that I'm someone who donates to every charity or someone who smiles at every stranger, although I do smile quite often. But that's also not what I'm asking you to become. It's our default setting to be individuals acting individually. It's our default setting to hate those who do us wrong and ignore any rationalization of their wrongdoings. I can't tell you for sure because I am only 18, but it seems to me like it's far too easy to get lost in the monotonous rush of 9-to-5 plastic-ridden life and be angry at a cold and dark world. But imagine if we, the class of 2016, the young generation, could transcend that. Imagine if we could do just a little better. For 1 second, imagine all of the stolen bikes we could recover. That was a joke, but I guess it didn't happen. In a world in which it is so easy to put your head down, listen to your music, and ignore the plight of your fellow man and woman, I ask you to look up, to be aware, to do what is difficult. I ask you to choose to live an empathetic life. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce one of our honors speakers, Alice Tracey.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate my fellow seniors. I'd also like to thank the many teachers, family members, and friends who have offered time and support to the class of 2016. It wasn't easy for me to write this speech. When I first sat down in front of my laptop to start writing, I ended up staring blankly at the screen for an hour because I had no idea where to start. So, like any good student would, I Googled graduation speech ideas. To my disappointment, the results were very unhelpful. Most of the websites I looked at listed passive-aggressive tips, such as, remember to be original, make sure your speech is really inspiring, and, my favorite, your speech should be true to you, but remember to never talk about yourself. My Google search left me with more writer's block than I'd started with. That's why you shouldn't depend on the internet to answer your homework questions. I think what made the writing difficult is the fact that we're all so different. It's hard to write something that the whole class can connect to and appreciate, when all of us have had a unique set of high school experiences. The class of 2016 is enormously diverse in backgrounds, interests, beliefs, and personalities. We'll all go on to do different things. We represent future scientists, builders, teachers, engineers, nurses, lawyers, business owners, politicians, doctors, artists, activists, and more. In high school, we've been involved in a range of activities. Some of us play sports, some of us participate in the performing arts, some of us take part in clubs. We all spend our free time differently too and have varying hopes, passions, and values. Each of us has experienced high school in a singular way. We've taken individual paths in navigating classes, extracurriculars, socialization, and adolescence in general. Those paths are sometimes easy, sometimes rough, and oftentimes both good and bad. I'm sure there are some seniors sitting here today trying to soak up as many memories with their high school friends as possible, while others can't wait to get out of Massachusetts. Considering all this variety, the thread that binds us together as a class isn't particularly apparent. In reflecting on who we are as a student body, I'm reminded of something I learned in one of my favorite and most challenging classes, biology with Dr. Scott. During the second year I had her as a teacher, we studied the theory of emergence. Wikipedia gives a very wordy definition for emergence, describing it as a process whereby larger entities, patterns, and regularities arise through interactions among smaller or simpler entities that themselves do not exhibit such properties. Dr. Scott put it much more simply. She explained emergence using the mantra, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. Essentially, emergence means that an assembled group of objects is much more than the sum of its parts. When things come together, they interact and communicate and form something new, none of which a single object could do by itself. When Dr. Scott brought up emergence, she was referencing the way that individual cells collaborate to create the complexity of a living thing. Take a plant, for instance. The fascinating structure of the plant is an emergent property. The plant cells create a strong shape, and as water evaporates through the leaves of the plant, more water is pulled up from the roots up the stem. A single plant cell cannot draw water from the ground, but cooperation between cells gives the plant the ability to defy gravity. In a similar way, I think we are much more than a random conglomeration of high schoolers. We're not all alike, but taken as a whole, the class of 2016 is a dynamic, resilient system. We each bring our individual talents and personalities to create a student body that reflects a huge array of wonderful attributes. This class has experienced loss and threat, but adapts and modifies itself in response. Just as each plant cell is essential to the overall function of the plant, each of us contributes something to the larger entity. And, though I understand that maybe not everyone here is bursting with ponder pride, I do know that together we foster a spirit of community and shared accomplishment simply because we've been through and graduated high school as a group. As we leave Arlington High School behind and move forward with our lives, I think it's important to remember that our collective experience is just as valuable as our individual experiences. Graduation can be a celebration of the achievements of single students, but it's also a way to acknowledge that we are all crucial parts of a larger community. The greatness of the class of 2016 is an emergent property. We're a pretty arbitrary collection of students, and all of us are different. Together, though, we form something amazing. So, if you remember anything from this speech, let it be that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce honors speaker and also president of our senior class, George West.
Hello. As the previous speakers have said, I would also like to reiterate the thanks to all the parents, the faculty, the staff, friends, and everyone for helping us make it through this wild ride. And congratulations to the class of 2016. So, only 5 hours ago, I was sitting down in my cozy beanbag chair, my pad and pen, just hoping an idea would present itself to me. I stared out the window, watching the birds fly free, my neighbor's dog do his business, and my little neighbors playing a bizarre game involving a foam sword, a bucket, a tennis ball, and their cat. Did I have any idea what they were doing, then or now? Absolutely not. However, what I did know was that they didn't acknowledge just how strange their motley crew appeared to an outsider's eye. Because those three little boys were having the times of their lives. And that's when it hit me. It being a mantra that I always had known and always lived by, but couldn't quite formulate into a coherent thought. But now, I think those ingenious toddlers have evoked more than just curiosity out of me. Do what makes you happy. Yes, I know, it's very cliche and is much easier said than done. But next year, whether you're taking a gap year, attending a new school, or going straight into the workforce, do not make your decision based on what others expect out of you. You owe it to yourself to be as happy as you can be and enjoy what you do, especially after 4 years of severely lacking old hall lists. Thanks. Now, going back to something I'm sure many of you questioned, did this kid seriously wait till the day of graduation to finally get going? Well, I'll be honest with you all. I've been a procrastinator my whole life, and I'm sure many of the teachers know this. Seriously, I even procrastinated birth coming out of the womb 2 weeks after I was due. Thanks, Mom. But I won't always be a procrastinator. I will defy the saying, once a procrastinator, always a procrastinator, as I am sure all of you will with whatever you wish to overcome. We are diving headfirst into a very turbulent time in our lives, where opportunities will present themselves, and we can then make the choices to start anew. You decide what you're going to do. You decide where you're going to do it. And most importantly, you decide why you're doing it. So please, as you kiss AHS goodbye for one last time, I urge you all to do what makes you happy and become the person you've always dreamed of becoming, whether it's the first person on Mars, the next person enhancing the engine, a future Frida Kahlo, or the next big rapper, Weaver. And since many of you read, or rather Spark noted, Fahrenheit 451, you're all fairly acquainted with Ray Bradbury. So I will leave you one of his, or rather his only, quote that isn't about the dangers of technology. Love what you do and do what you love. Don't listen to anyone else who tells you not to do it. You do what you want, what you love. Thank you.
Dr. Janger will now return to lead a very special remembrance for Catherine Malatesta. Thank you, Mr. DiLoreto. As we've heard a number of times today, this year, the Arlington High School community was touched by many losses. We mourned the death of 2 students, Catherine J. Malatesta, a senior, and Jeremy Kramer McNeil, a sophomore. In addition, we mourned the untimely death of Catherine Wall, a coach, educator, and a recent graduate of AHS. All of these losses were felt deeply, and we've had many events and activities to remember and mourn. When a student passes during their high school years, it is traditional to present a diploma during their graduation ceremony. This year, we will recognize Catherine, a member of the class of 2016. Last summer, Catherine lost her courageous battle with cancer, but her life and memory have triumphed. Catherine was an exuberant and involved member of the AHS community. Not only was Catherine a committed honor student, but she also passionately participated in many activities at Arlington High School. In particular, she was captain of the field hockey team, rode on the Arlington Belmont varsity crew, sang in the madrigals, acted in the winter musical production, and was voted president of our student council. Her greatest passion was on stage with her madrigal family and her winter musical cast. Catherine's eternal optimism and hope amidst her brave and difficult struggle with cancer has touched our community deeply, and many groups have joined in fundraising to support the fight against cancer, as well as the Catherine J. Malatesta Scholarship. Catherine's spirit has also inspired many to work toward her vision of a truly inclusive high school community. As Catherine said, together we can build a more welcoming and friendly environment at Arlington High School, a place where students can show their true colors without judgment. Catherine's legacy is bringing many groups together. I will now ask her family to come up to receive her diploma. Greg Malatesta and Jennifer Goodwin, as well as Drew and Reed Malatesta. You guys can stand if you want to. Please join me in a moment of silence, followed by a performance of the Arlington High School Madrigals. After the Madrigals, we'll all sit down. Thank you.
Somehow, someday, somewhere.
Thank you.
That was truly inspirational. Now, our principal, Matthew Janger, chair of the Arlington School Committee, Jennifer Susse, will present the diplomas to the class of 2016. This year, our readers will be the Dean of Students, Veronica Tivnan, and Assistant Principal William McCarthy.
Ready? All right. George West.
Vignesh, Raghunathan, Chockalingam.
Alexander Franzosa.
Olivia Dari Sorensen.
Carrie Liu.
Daniel Joseph Hallis.
Antranig Kechejian.
Dayton Benjamin Campbell.
Alice Tracey.
Alexander Raymond Jera.
Nathan Wurst.
Kieran Gite.
Fuelan Seamus Coogan Pluck.
Erin Olivia Kirchner.
Andrew Peterson.
Katerina Emily Bridget Koch.
Glenn Akanjang.
Risa Komatsu.
Michaela Alajem.
Sebastian Matthew Krajewski.
Ashley Marie Alice.
Alp Kuleli.
Hanan Suleiman Ali.
Louisa Curtin Cooper.
Margaret Almondson.
Joshua Matthew Cutts.
Peter Amundsen.
Kevin LaFleur.
Eli Anway.
Brandy Rose Laquadera.
Esme Oster.
Tess Tierney Lavallee.
Erin I.
Leah Hope Lavin.
Fiorella Padilla.
Aiden Eric Lees.
Aaron Banker.
Julia Jean Marie Leone.
Atul Benskoda.
Griffin Jacob LaSalle.
Michaela Bassett.
Alana Fushen Leva.
James Pollock Bauer.
Stephen Joseph Liakos.
Nikki Bauman.
Alicia Maya Leon.
Susanna Ben.
Alice Liu.
Rachel Benoit.
Julia Rose Longo.
Benjamin Burke Halpern.
Jenna Onjinsho Low.
Ian Bernardin.
Molly Marie Mahoney.
Linnea Berryman.
Jason Maxim Mayer.
Sheldon Besanth.
Alora Jade Malhi.
Charlotte Blumenfeld.
Ashley Elizabeth Malone.
Pilar Bolognese.
Alexander Robert Mangelli.
Sonia Bonestra.
James Andrew Marafiotti.
Rachel Bowler.
Ivan Duku Maring.
Ben Boyajian.
Emma Reyes Maxtudis.
Catherine Grace Brennan.
Abigail Hanson McCabe.
Harmony Browning.
Patrick Robert McCune.
Jillian May Buckley.
Jennifer Rose McDonald.
Anthony Tyrone Burns.
Brianna Marie McLaughlin.
Mina Burton.
Paula McMenamin.
Adam Cahill.
Alan Medina Contreras.
Madalena Colorazzo.
Carla Meehan.
Nina Marie Camilio.
Marcus Missouri.
Isabella Campbell Breen.
Asa Minter.
Allison Rachel Candell.
Marissa Moduno.
Jessica Ann Carley.
Brendan Lawrence Mooney.
Matthew Carney.
Michael Morissette.
Kate Cleary Carr.
Fiona Toll Mosley.
Grace Carter.
Emma Rose Murak.
Anya Kaseri.
Sarah Maria Murphy.
Jackson Cedrone.
Tenzin Nanglo.
Martina Cheretti.
Alvina Napit.
Jacob Reese Shavs.
Abel Nuguse.
Rebecca Choi.
Erin Mullane O'Brien.
Olivia Catherine Cipriano.
Samuel Robert O'Keefe.
Kendall Clayton.
Jason Patrick O'Neill.
Peter Clifford.
Alana Inyela Ogilvy.
Alec Coleman.
Erin Ann Packard.
Maya Coley.
Isabella Vera Pajevich.
Caitlin Keneally.
Joanna Pontesopoulos.
Patrick Michael Conroy.
Arpi Asnev Parsegian.
Carl Conti.
Cormac Kins Patterson.
Nicholas Cuervo Torello.
Luquan Peng.
Patrick James Curran.
Jessicelis Fernandez Pereira.
Emma Curtis.
Carlenis Elvira Pereira.
Samuel Cutler.
Kayla Peroni.
Alfred Dow.
Louis Reynald Pratt.
William Edward Davey.
Hans Christian Kjode.
Aaron Davies.
Francis Raboy.
Alexander DeYoung.
Federico Ranini.
Samantha Deering.
Noelani Ramos.
Jacob Deck.
Shivam Rostogi.
Cecile Dadios.
Melissa Haley Rawson.
Mallory Zena DeFeo.
Michael Robert Reynolds.
Isabella Rose DiFrancesco.
Paige Elizabeth Riley.
Lucas D'Souza.
Dakari Rodriguez.
Nicolo Di Giovanni.
Olivia Rose Rogers.
Michael Bennett Dillon.
Theodore Arthur Dennis Ronayne.
Margaret Doherty.
Stephen Siegel Rookwood.
Mara Doherty.
Isabella Rose.
Elizabeth Donham.
Catherine Rosner.
Ava Donlin.
Nicholas Laurent Roy.
Katia Donovan.
Lorenzo Ruggiero.
Liam Downey Wall.
Elias Stephen Sachs.
Oliver Dwan.
Morgan Sarah Salazar.
Zachary Charles Dumais.
Rami Youssef Saleh.
Liam Woods Durant.
Nicholas Costas dos Santos.
Anna Kai Edwards.
Yuri Costas dos Santos.
Max Ellenhorn.
Laura Grace Schoonmaker.
Safia Eliomsi.
Alexander Schron Van Blucher.
Allison Everett.
Eli Charles Sears.
Clark Jonathan Ewan.
Aaron Frederick Sebring.
Michaela Bahung Farmer.
Fedor Yurovich Semesh.
Manuela Figueredo Sobral.
Akriti Sharma.
Sophia Alexandra Finner.
Laura Marie Shea.
Austin Taylor Flanick.
Julia Shenefield.
Erin Morgan Flanick.
Shinran Shi.
Cora Flanagan.
Anna Dongchen Shin.
Caroline Flynn.
Juan Abdon Silva Ferrafino.
Ella Folsom Fraster.
Suki Singh.
Julie Ann Ferran.
Yuvraj Singh.
Sean Ferran.
Daniel Scott Slobodnik.
Colin Forte.
Romario Smith.
Jackson Foster.
Corbin Hunter Schock.
Max Fox Jerkowitz.
Caleb Snyder de Cesare.
Julio Cesar Martinez.
Callie Sophis Sheft.
Daniel Galini.
Mila Stanajovic.
Andrea Garcia.
Randall Stansberry.
Mohamed Gabor.
Trevor Rolando Stinson.
Lucas James Giannacostas.
Paul Martin Stokes.
Jessica Lee Gillis.
Reed Charlton Stone.
Ronaldo Chignuri.
Nicholas Athens Strite.
Madeline Ruth Goldstein.
Holly Ann Sullivan.
Miles Joseph Goldstein.
Noelle Mary Sullivan.
Kelly Gonsalves.
Jayamina Sundar Rajan.
Jeff Gorman.
Ramsey Talamay.
Tally Gorikovsky.
Kriti Tamang.
Cooper Gould.
Rick Tang.
Georgia Grady.
Gina Marie Tarantino.
Kendra Griezmann.
Marissa Rose Tashjian.
Addie Gunst.
Andrew Paul Thomas.
Grace Gutierrez.
James Daniel Tiffany.
Sarah Gutierrez.
India Jane Bixler Tonkin.
Galen Popolo Hall.
Christopher Toll.
Colin Hanley.
Eleonora Tramonte.
Samantha Lee Harrington.
Cameron James Tripp.
James Franklin Hassler.
Chiswan Morris Sai.
Anne Frances Higgins.
Victoria Marie Sig.
Jordan Hodges.
Yurin Tushida.
Grace Ponton Hoagland.
Theodore Zelevazalakos.
Lauren Horican.
Minerva Viser Bobea.
Thomas Matthew Houston.
Yanni Peter Vericchios.
Garth Hull.
Samantha Cooper Wallace.
Jakeem Hippolyte.
Kylie Alexis Walsh.
Lena Iskandarian.
Yuping Wang.
Michaela Eleanor Jacks.
Ziwei Wang.
Grace Marie Jenkins.
Andrew Nelson Ward.
Erin Marie Jagarjian.
Christopher Daniel Warren.
Aditi Joglakar.
Cheyenne Imani Washington.
Megan Madeline Jones.
Jeremy Blaze Weaver.
Allison Michelle Jordahl.
Connor Stanley Wellis.
Hitesh Joshi.
Matthew Ronald White.
Lisette Alexandra Khalil.
Ashley Elizabeth Wicks.
Marguerite Claire Kaminsky.
Alexander Lars Wickstrom Thomas.
Nicholas Eli Kaminsky.
Paulo Wolfsdorf.
Melisha Kapoor.
Nathaniel Lawrence Wright.
Jarrett Henry Karp.
Tomami Yoshida.
Manjot Kaur.
Rachel Grabiner Young.
Sarkis James Kavlakian.
Luke Marcos Ypsilantis.
Annie Marie Keller.
J.D. Zeeb.
Courtney Jane Kelly.
Cindy Rongfang Zhou.
Margaret Mary Kelly.
Julius Alaya Zuckerman.
Abhishek Kanal. Hanan Karadine. Alexander Kiakotos. Bridget Kathleen Kenya. Jacob Kylie Song. And Nathan Christopher Kiernan.
Well, I'm back. So, as president of class 2016, I present to you guys our class gifts, and we are donating to the student council for mini grants. We're donating to all 3 other classes. As well, we're donating to the Catherine Malatesta Scholarship Fund. And finally, we're donating to the school for working on those other projects that Dr. Janger was talking about that might happen. And finally, yeah, sure. You can turn your tassels to the left side of your cap, most importantly. And we made it. You can throw your caps. Woo!
Thank you for coming.